Hello, my name is Vanessa, and the name of this channel is Gnostic Knowledge. And what I'm doing on this channel is reading from a book. The name of the book is called Letters and Numbers. And this book is written by Zachary K. Hubbard. You can acquire a copy of this book by visiting one of his two YouTube channels, Gematria Effect News or Gematria Effect Sports. And in each of the descriptions, in the description of each of his videos, he leaves a link for you to purchase the book. The book costs $5, the best $5 you will ever spend in your life, because this information is phenomenal, made available to the public, and you won't get this information anywhere else. Anyway, the book has over 700 pages. It comes to you in a PDF file format. And so once you pay for the book, you'll get the email. You open it, save the file to whichever device you're going to use to read the book. Zachary K. Hubbard left the copyright off this book purposefully so that you can take it to your local bindery and have it bound into a book if you like. But also having it in the electronic file format is great, because since there's so many pages in the book, looking for information, once you start reading the book, when you want to find something out, you just search for it and it'll take you directly to that page. And Zachary K. Hubbard also wrote a second book called Number Games, and you can get that book by visiting his blog page called GematriaEffectNews.blogspot.com. And the first thing you'll see is the advertising for the book. When you scroll down, you'll see the information on how to purchase the book within the United States and abroad. But if you become a Patreon on Zachary K. Hubbard's channel, at the $1 tier, $1 a month, you'll get both books, Letters and Numbers and Number Games, via email and PDF file format. But when you order the book, pre-order it from when you pre-order the book Number Games, that book is going to come to you in a paperback book. So I encourage everyone to get these books and actually read them. The information is phenomenal. So I am in this video, I am continuing reading chapter 13, and it is called Trumped: Rigged Elections and Presidential Assassinations. And I've already uploaded part 1 of chapter 13 in a video. So far I've read from chapter 1 up to chapter 13. Chapter 13 is a rather long chapter, about 80 pages in this particular chapter. So I don't know how many videos it'll take before I get it all the way uploaded, chapter 13, but I will do my best to get it up as soon as possible so you don't have any cliffhangers. But hopefully you will find the information important enough that it will prompt you to go and get this book and start sharing this information, because I truly believe that every human being on this planet should know what's going on. And also, if you would give the video a like and share it so someone else can hopefully find this information as well. And with that said, I will be beginning on page 206, in the middle of the page. 206. I am in the 206 area code. How's that? Yeah, up in Washington State, Seattle, Washington. Well, I live in Renton, but anywho, without further ado, I'm continuing on with chapter 13. All right. In terms of rigged elections and mocking by the numbers, it is important to understand that what takes place in the United States takes place all across the world, because we're deep in the New World Order's game, which is exactly what it is, a game. And you're learning the rules of how it works. Take a gander at the headline out of Iran from May 20th, 2017, where it was announced that President Rouhani won the election with 23.5 million votes, just days before May 23rd. On the most appropriate day in May for an Iran Freemason tribute. Notice below the date had numerology of 42 and 62, connecting to Freemason and Mason respectively in Gematria. Even better, the name Hassan Rouhani makes me think he might be a shoo-in for office in Washington, D.C. someday. His name Gematria should pop in light of what you learned about the G-spot. So the date was 5/20/17, and when you add those numbers together, 5 plus 20 plus 17, it equates to 42. Freemason equates to 42 in reduction. Also, when you add 5/20/2017, you add 5 plus 20 plus 20 plus 17, it equates to 62, and Mason equates to 62 in the ordinal cipher. Iran equates to 42 in the ordinal cipher. Hassan Rouhani equates to 58 in reduction. Hassan Rouhani equates to 77 reverse reduction, and Hassan Rouhani equates to 47 in the septenary cipher. Alrighty. Thus, the next time you see headlines about the U.S. and Iran posturing against each other, you can know it's just part of the New World Order game. Same with the U.S. and North Korea. Think about that film, Team America World Police. It was more than a comedy, and the characters were on strings, not arbitrarily. Speaking of that film, it begins in France, which reminds me that Donald Trump was in Paris, France for Bastille Day, July 14th, 2017, to meet the newly elected Emmanuel Macron, who defeated Marine Le Pen in their May 17th, 2017 selection. Let's take a moment to do a little decoding. First, there are some striking parallels between the numbers on Paris, France and Bastille Day with what we know about Washington, D.C. and the number 187. Okay, consider Bastille Day is on July 14th or 14/7. The names Emmanuel Macron and Marine Le Pen should give you deja vu as well. Okay, Emmanuel Macron equates to 58 in reduction. Emmanuel Macron equates to 77 reverse reduction. 113 reverse reduction, ES22, and Emmanuel Macron equates to 148 in the ordinal cipher. Emmanuel Macron equates to 888 in the Sumerian cipher. As we decode Marine Le Pen, and I'm going to spell that name, MARINELEPEN, capital LE, Pen. So Marine Le Pen. Recall that Freemasonry sums to 58 in reduction and 59 in reverse reduction, as well as 59 in Hebrew Gematria. In the chapter ahead on false flags, we'll learn about France's very special Freemason history. Marine Le Pen equates to 58 reduction. Marine Le Pen equates to 59 reverse reduction. In case you're wondering, yes, you can go across the globe and decode every leader of the world to uncover the same types of patterns. Of course, not every leader's name will sum to 58, but the numbers of Masonry will come up again and again. Other things to look for are leaders who have the same name Gematria as the nations, states, and cities they represent. The birthdays of the respective leaders often have the numerology to match as well. This is no doubt how the New World Order sets the world stage, such as having Kim Jong-un in North Korea, who you will learn more about ahead. So please, put the knowledge to the test and prove that this is the case to yourself. I know you most certainly will, as many of my students have done just the same since I started teaching it in 2013. The best way to appreciate this knowledge is to use it. And he's absolutely correct. Use the knowledge. You can apply it every single day to anything that comes through your news, your movies, everything. It is just, man, it's just amazing. Okay. So I'm going to read this headline here, and I'm sure he's going to talk about it here, but I'm going to read the headline. It says, Donald Trump using Adolf Hitler's Mein Kampf, and I'm going to spell that because I'm pretty sure I'm not pronouncing it correctly. It is Meinkamph. Kamph. So I would assume it's pronounced Mein Kampf. Okay, so Donald Trump using Adolf Hitler's Mein Kampf playbook, says world expert on Nazi leader. President's views come out of a playbook written in German, says author. The playbook is Mein Kampf. Alrighty. Here we go. Now back to the reading. Now for a more serious book title and another Trump headline worth mentioning, I bring you this one about Mein Kampf, authored by Adolf Hitler, who said that the world needed to be cleansed of the false Jews and has forever been shamed about it by Hollywood, owned and operated by the false Jews, which is something still ahead. If you examine the date of the headline from the Independent, it is February 8, 2017, the most perfect day of the year for such a headline about such an infamous book. Let us begin with its 47 numerology, while keeping in mind that February 8th is the 39th day of the year, matching the year World War II began, and the number of books in the Old Testament. Also, please know that anytime the media emphasizes words as they do with Mein Kampf in the headline shown, that means there is relevant gematria encoding in the letters. In this case, the coding syncs with the date and Trump. Alright, so the date was February 8th, so 2/8/2017. 2 plus 8 plus 20 plus 17 equates to 47. And I will show you that headline so you can see the how they emphasized Mein Kampf, Meinkamph, with the quotation marks there. Okay? And where they emphasize anything within the headline, that is where you have that has gematria in it as well. So let's go back here. Alrighty. In gematria terms, Mein Kampf. Oh, come on, book. Stop changing the page. In gematria terms, Mein Kampf, as well as Trump, equate to 47, as well as president, which Adolf Hitler was. Also, Mein Kampf and Trump both equate to the number 88, reminding of HH for Hail Hitler. Of course, H is the 8th letter. And don't forget, Jewish shares the gematria of 88. Same with Exodus, which is what happened after World War II. The Jewish exodus from Europe to Israel. So, Mein Kampf equates to 47 reverse reduction. Trump equals 47 reverse ordinal. Mein Kampf equates to 88 in ordinal. Trump equates to 88 in ordinal cipher. Manafort equates to 88 in ordinal. Apprentice also equates to 88 in the LCH Kabbalah cipher. If you learn how to read the headlines for what they really are, meaning knowing the code, the puppet show is always clearly revealed. Without the code, things can become muddy and confusing, which is just the way the tyrants want it. Imagine what it is like for the unknowing person. One day Trump is the first Jewish president, the next day he is touting around Mein Kampf. With the constant back and forth games the media always plays, they want to make our heads spin and put us in a mental state of vertigo. Remember, it is always easier to control people who are afraid and confused, which are tactics straight from George Orwell's 1984. In the words of Orwell, war is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. My goodness. Speaking of Hitler and Mein Kampf, it leads one to think about the fictional Holocaust brought to life in Steven Spielberg's Schindler's List of 1993. Of course, the name Spielberg equates to 93 in ordinal gematria, same as propaganda, and pairing nicely with the year the film came out. Again, when it comes to Israel and false Jew lies, it's all about the number 93. More recently, on January 27th, 2017, on International Holocaust Remembrance Day, Puppet Trump very purposefully was used to create the most ironic of headlines. On that date, he signed what became known as the Muslim ban, which was a narrative in the hit TV show House of Cards from months earlier. Would you believe the gematria of Muslim ban? Absolutely. It equates to 58 in reverse reduction. That was also a date with numerology of 54, corresponding with Trump's number, as well as geometry, where gematria is geometry in language. And this story, to the lunatics in charge, was seen as some kind of historical symmetry. Even worse, the word mosque shares gematria of 45. So on the date January 27th, 17, you add 1 plus 27 plus 17, it equates to 45. And the word mosque equates to 45. Reverse reduction, E counted as 22. Okay? It was also the right date for a symbolic move by the President of the United States from the land of the headquarters of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. Notice how the date can be written as 1/27, something like the number 127, connecting to both names. President of the United States equates to 127 in the septenary cipher. Scottish Rite of Freemasonry equates to 127 in reduction. The very next day, January 28th, an Islamic mosque went up in flames in Victoria, Texas, where the name of the structure was the Islamic Center of Victoria, having gematria that perfectly corresponded with Holocaust and President of the United States. Islamic Center of Victoria equates to 114 in reduction. President of the United States equates to 114 in reduction. And Holocaust equates to 114 in the ordinal cipher. Victoria, Texas, and the name of the structure also connected to Freemasonry. Recall, the number 58 symbolizes Freemasonry, and the number 147 symbolizes Freemason, the President of the United States, and much more, as we have learned. Victoria, Texas equates to 58 in reduction. Islamic Center of Victoria equates to 147 in reduction. After the fire, The media treated the blaze as a mystery. But again, by knowing the code, there is no mystery to be had. Again, everything in the mainstream is propaganda, contrived to control the mind's eye of the masses, and made with the intention of keeping people pitted against one another instead of the common enemy of humanity, who are the synagogue of Satan. As you examine the headline below, know that the Zionists control Associated Press, as well as Reuters, in addition to the rest of the media outlets across the entire globe without exception. Yes, even Breitbart and Democracy Now! That is something that needs to change. There needs to be a real source of information that is of value and empowers people instead of purposefully leading them astray as mainstream news does on the daily. So, the headline reads as Texas Mosque Destroyed in Early Morning Blaze, Case Unknown. Another headline from that same period of time was the death of John Hurt at age 77, who was the lead actor in the film adaptation of Orwell's 1984, a film that was appropriately released in 84, 33 years before his passing. Hurt died just 5 days after his 77th birthday, January 27th, being born on January 27th or 22/1. In ordinal gematria, the Bavarian Illuminati sums to 221, who we will learn more about in the chapters ahead, a Masonic and Jesuit order established May 1st, 1776, just before the American Revolution, and which is recognized in some history books as being the responsible party for the French Revolution, that other red, white, and blue nation. On a related note, Donald Trump became president on his 221st day of being 70 years old, January 20th, 2017, just a week before Hurt's passing. As you examine the headline, please recall the significance of the number 77 to Washington, D.C. on the 77th meridian west, as well as how it represents the word theater, in light of Trump being the 1984 puppet candidate. Okay, actor John Hurt dies at 77. As I have already mentioned a number of times, there is no one who has ever been an employee of this cartel that hasn't been killed by the code, and Donald Trump will eventually join that long list, a long list that grows with each passing day. It is a very sick game, and one I will expose fully on the chapter about murder by numbers. On the subject of 1984, I was telling my followers all along the campaign trail that the Donald Apprentice Trump character was a work of 1984 because he was twisting facts, recreating history, saying one thing one day, the opposite the next, and it wasn't by chance. No, not at all, and far from it. You see, in 1984, the actual year Donald Trump became a TV celebrity, which, if you do the math, was 33 years before he would become president in the land of the federal city, Washington, D.C. Okay, in the federal city, Washington, D.C. Okay, let me reread that. Okay, you see, in 1984, the actual year Donald Trump became a TV celebrity, which, if you do the math, was 33 years before he would become the president in the land of the federal city, Washington, D.C. If you've never read the book 1984, make it the next one you read after this, as it is about a nation and a time very much like ours. The main character's name in the book is Winston, also having reduction gematria of 33, not unlike Drumpf, D-R-U-M-P-H, the original last name for the Trump family. Not that the two are alike. And beyond 1984, by knowing the code, it makes sense for a celebrity to be the 45th president, especially one as popular as Trump and who was seen as an authority figure because of the reality TV series The Apprentice, which now we know what he was truly an apprentice for. After all, in reduction gematria, celebrity equates to 45. For number 45, okay. Celebrity equates to 45 in reduction cipher. What made me grin days after the inauguration of Trump was the national news headline that came January 25th, 2017, a date far from arbitrary. Amazon reported that suddenly, out of nowhere, 1984 was the best-selling book on their website. Now, I have absolutely zero doubt this report was 100% false and only made to mock what was taking place in the world with Mr. 1984 himself, newly installed in the Oval Office, a term summing to 49 and 50 in reduction gematria, same as Washington. Keep in mind, as we learned, Trump is a Jesuit, and both Jesuit and the Jesuit order equate to 84, similar to how the first Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis, a name summing to 58 in gematria, has 84 birth numerology, also a number of masonry. Just as a reminder, from Trump's June 14th birthday to the Pope's December 17th birthday is a span of 187 days, matching the gematria of Society of Jesus, and being that big number in D.C. that was once part of the Catholic colony. Thus, while Virginia and Maryland, Virgin Mary, surround the capital, tying in nicely with the riddle of Trump attending Fordham University in 1964, the Jesuit school. All right. Equally as important and also as a reminder, Orwell, the author of the famous title, was a member of the Fabian Society, established in 1884, where Masonry also has reverse ordinal of 84, syncing with the United States of America having reduction gematria of 84. For a few more laughs, let us read the reporting from USA Today about 1984 climbing to the top of Amazon's chart. Notice the mention of the year it was written, 1949. A year coming 68 years before Donald Trump, the CIA asset, took office, and how it had sold 47,000 copies since the November 8th election. A very specific number, which you now know well, or at least without the 3 zeros at the end. Consider these stats come from Nielsen, which in gematria terms tells the story. So the word Nielsen, Nielsen, equates to 33. So I'm going to read this headline about George Orwell, the book 1984. George Orwell's tale of a sad, grim future like we're living out right now. The book 1984 has experienced a recent resurgence, climbing to the top of Amazon.com's bestseller list of books. The book, written in 1949, required reading for many in high school and college was number one on the list on Wednesday morning. It's in such demand that publisher Penguin has ordered 75,000 book reprint. Okay, I'm sorry. It's in such demand that publisher Penguin has ordered a 75,000 book reprint. That is a substantial reprint and larger than our typical reprint for 1984, a Penguin spokesperson told CNN. Nielsen Bookscan, CNN reported, said the book sold 47,000 copies since President Donald Trump's November 8th election, which is up from last year. Wow. Okay, as for the 75,000, you should know what the meaning of the number 75 is. It is a very important one. Orwell's book has everything to do with the New World Order and the politics of order out of chaos. It is the number 75 that symbolizes both of these things, as well as the Catholic Church, which throughout history has been at the heart of the New World Order. Again, recall it was them that first obtained the Kabbalah Code after the Crusades, which began what we now commonly refer to as the Cabal. And that phrase, the Cabal, equates to 47 reverse reduction. New World Order equates to 75 in reduction. Order out of chaos equates to 75 in reduction. Catholic Church equates to 75 reverse reduction. Roman Catholic equates to 75 reverse reduction. Order equates to 75 in reverse ordinal. On the subject of the New World Order and 1984, a line you must know from the book is, "Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past." Consider how on average about once a year the news will report on something being withheld from the public within the vaults of the Vatican, oftentimes pages of the Bible or relics from history. You would think more people would ask why, even though the answer is obvious. As a reader of this book, knowing what you know now, I think you can connect the rest of the dots from here, Truth Seeker. If you need a little nudge, it is because we are being lied to about everything, and some lies they just can't let out because they'd be too forthcoming, and the tyrants couldn't afford that. And oh, by the way, if you plug that 1984 motto into gematrinator.com, you'll see it sums to 322 in reduction gematria. That special number connected to the Abrahamic religions as well as ancient mystery religions. On the subject of order out of chaos and 1984, let's revisit the date of the headline about 1984 being the bestseller, which was January 25th or 1/25, something like the number 125. Okay, in ordinal gematria, North Korea sums to 125, and I bring this up because George Orwell died in history just before the Korean War, a civil war where the United States fought on behalf of fought in half of the South, and Russia fought on behalf of the North. That war began June 25th, 1950, what would have been Orwell's 47th birthday if he had not died January 21st, 156 days short of the start of the war. You know about 156, right? Think about what is taking place in the news right now with a back and forth between Kim Jong-un, a name in ordinal gematria summing to 114, not unlike World War, or Pearl Harbor, and Donald Trump, as well as Russia. For the record, the mainstream media made a big deal about Kim turning 33 years old in 2016 and again in 2017. Yes, you read that right. Kim turned 33 years old in back-to-back years, which the media paid mind to both times. That also means that his birth date was changed from 1983 to 1984. So reminiscent of the book 1984, because history is always being changed on the go in that same fictional novel, which is no longer fiction because we're living it. For a moment, let's decode the 33 gematria in Kim and the 114 gematria in his full name. So the name Kim Jong-un equates to 114 in ordinal, and his first name Kim equates to 33 in the ordinal cipher. Alrighty. If you're not aware, North Korea is owned and operated by the NWO. Same as the United States of America, same as Russia. Wow. We're deep in the game, people. What the New World Order banker tyrants love to do with the nations they control with dollars and debt is pit them against each other, using the respective medias they control to keep the people of the respective nations in a perpetual state of confusion. Again, it is straight from Orwell's book, where the people of the nation of Oceania know they are constantly at war, but are uncertain of the exact reasons why, other than there is some threat out there overseas that needs to be dealt with, which is constantly reminded of in the media. Speaking of Oceania, let's check the gematria, knowing that Freemason equates to 42 and 48. So the word Oceania, well, it's spelled Oceania. Oceania. It's probably Oceania. I'm not sure. I'm just going to say Oceania. So Oceania equates to 48 in ordinal, and it equates to 42 in the reverse reduction cipher. In case you're reading and having a hard time accepting the fact that the United States, Russia, and North Korea are controlled by the same entity, I'll ask you to simply go through history, recent and past, and decode using what you now know. You'll prove to yourself that this is the case. And just think about Russia and the United States on the surface, two nations that have so much in common, from World War involvement to atomic and nuclear weapons programs to the space race to the Cold War. On the subject of the Cold War, I almost forgot to tell you about this very important 113 in history, a fake fear-mongering story that kept the people in their basement for decades. Here in the Pacific Northwest of the United States, where I grew up, it's common for homes in their backyards to have bomb shelters because so many people thought a big one was about to be dropped on their head at any given minute. Again, fear controls and fear sells. I know whoever was building those shelters made out like a bandit. If you want to revisit how fear is instilled, then seek out the 1951 film Duck and Cover, which was made for children, where the tyrants love to sell the fear early and often. Please feel free to practice your gematria skills on that title as well. So the word Cold War equates to 113 in the reverse ordinal cipher. Okay, with that said, just because something awful hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. This point leads me back to the biblical riddles I was talking about with the selection of Trump. So let's take another gander at his campaign slogan, taken right from Ronald Reagan's 1980 presidential run, "Make America Great Again." The motto has reverse ordinal gematria of 404, which also happens to be the number of verses in the book of Revelation, sharing gematria of 49, and being the final book of the Bible, where the warning signs from the same book are trumpets, not too far off from Trump Pence, as in the presidential ticket the orange man ran with. Those warning signs are about the coming destruction. As we covered earlier, the name Mike Pence sums to 45 forwards and backwards, just the same as Holy Bible, and connecting to the gematria of geometry, further proving that this riddle is no joke. Make America Great Again equates to 404 in reverse ordinal. In Revelation, the 7 trumpets are mentioned in chapters 8 through 11, not unlike the date of the 2016 election, November 8, which can be expressed 8/11 or 11/8. Equally as intriguing, the ordinal gematria of Trump is 132, which corresponds with the number of rooms in the White House, also 132 in count, and the gematria of United States of America, as well as Catholic Church, which has been a biblical nation from its inception, especially with the establishment of Philadelphia. So the word trumpets equates to 132 in ordinal. United States of America equates to 132 reverse reduction. Catholic Church equates to 132 in ordinal. Speaking of Philadelphia, you need to know this. Speaking of Philadelphia, you need to know this, so I'll tell you now. The city was founded October 27th, 1682, a date with numerology of 135, a reshuffling of the biblical number 153, as we learned about, or as you learned about. Even more, in Revelation, the Church of Philadelphia is written to regarding even more, in Revelation, the Church of Philadelphia is written to regarding the key of David, also having ordinal gematria of 135. So the date, 10th month, 27 days, 1682. You add 10 plus 27 plus 16 plus 82, it equates to 135. The key of David also equates to 135. All right, so now, let me make sure that I read the whole page over there. Yes, I did. So, we're going to read right now. This is Revelation 3, 7. Revelation 3rd chapter, verse 7 in the NIV Bible. To the angel of the church in Philadelphia write, these are the words of him who is holy and true, who holds the key of David. What he opens, no one can shut, and what he shuts, no one can open. The key of David is an instrument in bringing about prophecy. David in ordinal gematria sums to 40, same as United States in reduction and U.S. in ordinal. What's interesting about this riddle is the Church of Philadelphia is supposed to bring justice to the earth, holding the synagogue of Satan accountable. For a moment, think about where Hillary Clinton had her DNC convention. It was in Philadelphia, the nation's capital. From 1790 to 1800, beginning 7 days after Trump's July 25th, which was exactly 106 days before the selection of November 8. Wow. This is crazy. These people are crazy. Okay. As we have learned, prophecy has ordinal gematria of 106, and Revelation is the book of prophecy and destruction. Fittingly, the word destroy also sums to 106 using ordinal gematria. At the same time, Hillary in reduction equates to 40, similar to how email sums to 40 in ordinal. Remember the big deal with Hillary and her email? It was all mocking. Supposedly there were 33,000 emails in question, where the number 33 matches the reduction gematria of Clinton. Man, as is told in What Happened, she lost largely because of this story to indicate who is of the synagogue of Satan, but at the same time, who so was she. Man, these people are something else. I should mention that St. John the Divine authors Revelation in light of the synagogue of Satan and the warning to the church of Philadelphia in Revelation 3, where all names are summing to 223. St. John the Divine equates to 223 reverse ordinal. For a bit more of the mocking, let's jump to what happened on Trump's 88th day in office, as it was war related. And Revelation is a book about the battles in heaven and on earth before the second coming. As we covered, the number 88 is a big one for Trump and the Republican Party, being the Republican president endorsed by 88 generals on September 6, 2016, as covered. Prior to the news of April 17th, 2017, Trump's 88th day as the man in charge, I told people all year, just wait until the date rolls around. It is going to be ripe, and it is going to be all about 88. It certainly didn't disappoint. If you recall, the top news story of the day was a report of a military helicopter crash at Brayton Bay Golf Course in Maryland. Let us now decode the numerological mocking. Helicopter crash equates to 88 in reduction, S as 10. Brayton Bay Golf Course equates to 88 in reduction. Maryland equates to 88 in ordinal. I wish that were all, but it only gets worse from there. This helicopter crash came 3 days after Trump deployed troops to Somalia, which was April 14th, the most troops deployed to the country since the incident known as Black Hawk Down in 1994, which Hollywood made a movie about, all but solidifying the fact that it never happened. As a rule of thumb, if Hollywood made a movie about something, you can know it never took place. Absolutely. Hollywood is only interested in propaganda-based films, and appropriately, both Hollywood and propaganda have gematria of 48, syncing with Freemason and Donald Trump. Keep in mind that the number 223 is the 48th prime because it connects directly to Brayton Bay Golf Course and Black Hawk Down. Boy, I tell you. So, Brayton Bay Golf Course equates to 223 in the ordinal cipher. Black Hawk Down equates to 223 in the reversed ordinal cipher. Now let us examine the parallel between Somalia, Maryland, and Black Hawk Down, which all equate to 47, connecting to Trump and the G-men further. Black Hawk Down equates to 47 in the Chaldean cipher. Somalia equates to 47 in reverse reduction. Maryland equates to 47 reverse reduction, and beast equates to 47 in ordinal. As for the ordinal value of beast, the date of the incident connects to the number of the beast, as does the gematria of helicopter. Before decoding the relevant gematria terms, notice how the date April 17 can be written as 17/4. Not unlike the number 174. Number of the beast equates to 174 in ordinal. Helicopter equates to 666 in the Sumerian cipher. April 17, 2017 was also a date with numerology of 58, and coming 58 days before Trump's 71st birthday, June 14th, 2017, which again is also the U.S. flag's birthday. So, 4th month, 17th day, 2017, you would add 4 plus 17 plus 20 plus 17 equates to 58. 58 days before the winner of the 58th election's birthday. Alrighty. On the subject of helicopters, shortly after Trump announced he was running for president, he made national news for telling a young boy he was Batman while he was on a helicopter. In reverse Sumerian, Batman also equates to 666. The story came on August 16th, the 228th day of the year, leaving 137 days remaining. Recall how 137 connects to Kabbalah, Kabbalah, in Hebrew, as well as Washington, D.C., White House, government, and authority in English. On the subject of Kabbalah and 666 that connects to the darker half of the study, Qliphoth, and that is spelled Qliphoth, which also has the 666 gematria. As for it being the 228th day of the year, the number connects to United States of America in ordinal gematria and death in Sumerian. The death part is fascinating because the next day, August 17th, it would be reported that a Maryland Batman impersonator was killed in a car wreck. A 51-year-old man known for visiting sick children in hospitals. Think about it. Based on what Trump had told a child just the day prior, there could only be one Batman in the Maryland, Virginia region. Or, I'm sorry, I didn't read that right, but he said, could there only be one Batman in the Maryland, Virginia region? Then on August 19th, it would be reported that Yvonne Craig was dead, who played Batgirl in the TV show Once Upon a Time. Following the pattern of Batman-related deaths in connection to Trump, Adam West would die at age 88, June 9, 2017, 140 days after Trump became the face of Washington. And in reverse ordinal, Washington sums to 140. At the same time, it was a span of 141 days, connecting to the gematria of 33, reminding that the 33rd episode of Batman pays tribute to the Masonic Order, Skull and Bones. Also regarding Qliphoth, Qliphoth, there is a belief about killing others to gain energy and power, and as we know, Trump likes power. Wow. Batman equates to 666, reverse Sumerian. I am Batman equates to 74 in ordinal. Killing equates to 74 in ordinal, and 74 equates to and Masonic equates to 74 in ordinal. Wow. Just before the bogus helicopter crash of April 17 by the numbers, there was another war-related matter from April 4th, or 4/4, our number connecting to military. Somewhere, I hope Netanyahu is reading this right now and deciding to remain silent for not just 44 seconds, but instead the rest of his life, because the gig is up. On this same day, April 4th, 2017, the report was a sarin gas attack in the town of Khan Shikoon, and that is spelled Khansheikhoun. Okay, Khan Shikoon. Both the type of attack and location share ordinal gematria of 144, same as the date of the incident, numbers that are no strangers to death, destruction, and killing. So, sarin gas attack equates to 144 in ordinal. Sarin gas attack equates to 144 AWL Kabbalah. Khan Shikoon equates to 144 in ordinal. April 4th, written as words, April 4th, equates to 144 in ordinal. The numbers 44 written as words, equates to 144 in ordinal. Killer equates to 144 in Jewish gematria, and kill equates to 44 in ordinal. Don't forget, Trump is 44th. He is the 44th president to be president. Okay, when Obama was in office, number 44, there was a similar propaganda story from August 21st, 2013. That incident happened in the town of Ghouta, Syria, and that is spelled Gouta, also equating to 144. So yeah, Ghouta, Syria equates to 144 in ordinal. It was said to be a deadly attack without reporting of fatalities ranging from the low hundreds to the thousands. What's interesting about the date August 21st, the 234th day of the year, leaving 132 days remaining, is how it connects to the number of the beast as well as death. August 21st can be written as 21/8, similar to 218. As I write this, I have received multiple letters in my physical mailbox telling me that my last day on this earth will be February 18, 2018, a date that can be expressed as 2/18. But they don't scare. These same goons began mailing me when I was 31 years old, telling me my 33rd birthday would be my last, and here I am at the age of 34, about to release the book that has been more than 4 straight years of work. And that is Zachary K. Hubbard describing himself. As a matter of fact, he's 36 now. So, and I'm glad he's still here. Hope whoever's sharing this work, I hope no harm comes to them, because this work needs to be known. Man, the word death equals 218 in English Extended. Back on topic, the connection to the number of the beast is when you add the day number 234 to its reflection 432, which equates to 666. Recall, the first 144 decimal points of pi total 666, bringing the connections full circle. And at the same time, don't forget how the number 132 connects to United States of America, as well as the number of rooms in the White House, since August 21st leaves 132 days left in the year. Later in this chapter, you'll also learn what the name United States of America has to do with circles and cycles and beyond. America and circle sharing ordinal gematria of 50. After the August 21st attack, the man in the White House, along with Skull and Bones member John Kerry, both began beating the drum for war, saying we needed to put boots on the ground in Syria. Fittingly, the date of the attack had numerology of 42, also connecting to war as well as World War. Thankfully, we didn't go to war then, but now it is years later and Trump is threatening with the same message. War equates to 42 in the ordinal cipher. And the date 8/21/13, 8 plus 21 plus 13 equates to 42. The word war also has satanic gematria of 147, connecting with the gematria of chemical weapons, wherein both the August 21st, 2013 attack and the April 4th, 2017 attack, it was a false chemical weapons attack to blame, both instances being straight from the film Wag the Dog, which is a must watch if you haven't seen it. Before I tell you a bit about the film, let's examine the gematria of chemical weapons in relation to war, while keeping in mind April 4th is the 94th day of the calendar year. Our number that when written out as 94 has gematria summing to 147, just the same as Freemason and conspiracy. So the word war equates to 147 in satanic gematria. Chemical weapons equates to 147 in the ordinal cipher. As for Wag the Dog, it's a fictional film about a president who has slept with a young girl, a Firefly girl, which is supposed to be the equivalent of a Girl Scout, who usually aren't any older than 12 years of age. This news in the movie breaks just before the president is up for re-election, so his campaign team has to figure out a way to change the news from the story of underage sex with a preteen, which is crushing, to something else so the president can secure a second term. What the president's top strategist decides is they will create a fictional war just for television to change what the mind's eye of the masses is on, because as the strategist explains, you cannot take a war president out of office, something we heard a lot when Bush was running for a re-election against John Kerry, the two members of the same elite Masonic fraternity at Yale, who we will learn more about ahead. So it happens, the fictional war with Albania is launched in the film using the most talented Jewish director in Hollywood, and the plan proves successful before the end credits roll. As the credits do begin rolling, you hear a news report of how the same Hollywood director was found dead in his mansion, of course, to help cover up the lie he participated in. Along the path of the film, things achieved by the campaign team include creating fictional history from the past and making it part of the historic record in the Library of Congress, the creation of a false war that isn't happening anywhere besides a Hollywood studio, the creation of a fake military unit, the 303rd Detachment, led by a hero named Old Shoe, having reduction gematria of 33. Who they release from prison so that they can more easily contrive the false identity, and a number of other things. In the film, you get to hear NPR talking about the false history as if it is real, and adding to the mockery, it is on channel 92.9, not too far off from 929, like the numbers of chapters in the Old Testament, and matching the Jewish gematria of United States of America. My goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Okay, I am going to stop the reading there. I've read this for an hour, and I will come back, and hopefully with the next read I'll continue until I'm done with the chapter. I shouldn't have that many pages left to read, maybe about 10 or so. But I hope you enjoy the reading, and I hope it will prompt you to visit Zachary K. Hubbard's YouTube channels, Gematria Effect News or Gematria Effect Sports, and in the description of his videos, visit the link, pay the $5, purchase the book Letters and Numbers, or become a Patreon on his channel, and you can get Letters and Numbers and his latest book, Number Games, for becoming a Patreon for $1 a month. But you'll get these books in PDF file format. But if you visit GematriaEffectNews.blogspot.com, you can pre-order his latest book, Number Games, and it will come to you via mail in paperback format. But yes, get the information, read the book, share the information, and I hope that you will give this video a like and share. And thank you until the next reading, and I will be back to finish chapter 13 later on. Okay, bye-bye.